In these uncertain times, everyone needs a hand up. Becoming a sponsor or making a donation to Food for the Soul Media Group is a great opportunity to help. Intimate Conversations with Talitha and Bobby airs every Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Hot 702.5, streaming radio, and live on our FB page. Intimate Conversations discusses all of those topics we don't like to talk about. Become a sponsor or donate today at foodforthesoulmediagroup.press. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Intimate Conversations with your girl Talitha Kume, presented by Food for the Soul Media Group on Hot 702.5 FM, you guys. And we are on our FB page, Food for the Soul Media Group. Stay tuned in and we will be right back. Premium Grooming Essential. Crisp products provide you with excellent hair and skin products, along with high-quality grooming products for the hair of the future. Their multi-use professional product for barbers and cosmetologists will make your desired hairlines, goatees, and eyebrows pleasingly crisp, keeping your desired lines and shapes crisp. By Mook the Barber. Go to www.crispproducts.com. CRISPRODC Mook TS today. Crisp. Mook the Barber. Crisp. Mook the Barber. Welcome back and thank you for tuning in this afternoon to Intimate Conversations with Talitha and Bobby, presented by Food for the Soul Media Group here on Hot 702.5 FM and on our Food for the Soul FB page. If you guys have not already, go like our page, follow us on Instagram at Food for the Soul Media Group and Orlay Worldwide, and subscribe to our YouTube stations, Food for the Soul Media Group and Intimate Conversations. And as you can see, we are coming to you from our living room again today. And now you can tune in to us every Saturday, 1 o'clock p.m., same time, same place. And our theme for the month is What is Love. So we're talking about everything that has to do with love and relationships. But because this is our Black History Month, I'm highlighting another famous power couple that you may have never heard of. And so this power couple is John H. and Eunice Johnson of the Johnson Publishing Company. So it says Chicago-based Johnson Publishing Company was founded in 1942 by John and Eunice Johnson and is the curator of the African American experience, past, present, and future. Johnson began his publishing conglomerate with a mere $500 borrowed against his mother's home furnishing. So he created, with that $500, the Negro Digest, which was similar to the Reader's Digest, and that was his first publication, but it folded in 1951. So he followed that up with their second publication, Ebony, a pictorial news magazine fashioned after Life magazine, first appeared in November 1945. Jet magazine was launched in 1951 to highlight news of African Americans in the social limelight, politics, entertainment, business, and sports. And then it shifted to a digital online format in 2014. And then a touring fashion show in 1958 gave birth to the Ebony Fashion Fair. And in 1973, the Johnsons started their Fashion Fair cosmetics line for their fashion show models who were having trouble finding makeup for African American skin complexions. And it says that Johnson Publishing also operates a book division. So that was pretty cool to find out that they started the Ebony and the Jet magazine, and then they did the highly remembered Ebony Fashion Fair that used to go on every year. And I'm not even sure when that stopped. But I remember hearing about that actually when I was a kid. So I know that it, I know it probably went on at least until the 1980s, I believe. I don't remember it being out in the 1990s, though. Right. So I don't know if you remember anything about the Ebony Fashion Fair model experience. But so anyway, we are going to get into our topic today, and it is, let's talk about friends. How many of us have them, friends? So we're going to talk about that, and then I found this
one you can depend on.
Friends. So I found this article, you guys, talking about friendships, and it says that friendships can have a major impact on your health and well-being, but it's not always easy to build or maintain friendships.
Right.
It says, good friends are good for your health. Friends can help you celebrate good times and provide support during bad times. And friends can prevent loneliness and give you a chance to offer needed companionship too. Friends can also increase your sense of belonging and purpose, boost your happiness and reduce your stress, improve your self-confidence and self-worth, and they can help you cope with traumas such as divorce, serious illness, job loss, or the death of a loved one. They can encourage you to change or avoid unhealthy lifestyle habits such as excessive drinking or lack of exercise. And then it says that adults with strong social support have a reduced risk of many significant health problems, including depression, high blood pressure, and an unhealthy body mass index. Wow. And studies have even found that older adults with a rich social life are likely to live longer than their peers with fewer connections. Right. Among people aged 65 or older, meaningful friendships were stronger indicators of health and happiness than familial relationships. As people age, friendships become increasingly more important for people's health. Most single seniors, either divorced or never married, who have good friends are just as happy and healthy as married people. And while a familiar relationships can be beneficial, of course, they sometimes come with difficulties and hectic interactions.
Facts.
So basically, it's saying that we need friends. We need each other, you guys. And so today, Bobby and I are going to be sharing some of our opinions on do's and don'ts with friendships and what we agree on, what we disagree on. And we want you guys to, while you guys are listening, evaluate your friendships and see if you feel the same way that we feel. So let's go. My first question to Bobby is, married and single friendships. Can married people continue their friendships with their single friends, or should they even keep their friendships with their single friends? What do you think?
I say yes and no, absolutely, and absolutely not. This is all predicated on the type of relationship you have. If you and your spouse agree on keeping and being friends with people, then you are both good. I believe that it's safe to say that friends that you might be friends with, that you slept with before you got married, and that aren't known friends, might be friends that you would still sleep with.
Okay.
And that's just because, like, if you have friends that you know, hey man, my buddies are, you know, my buddies, you know my friends. So, but if there's friends that, you know, friends of, you know, before that, you know, you didn't introduce to your spouse,
right?
That you're friends with, and you don't necessarily do anything with them, but you're still friends with them. You still would. You still would sleep with them, and it's just what it is.
But we're talking about we're not even talking about that subject yet. We're talking about just friendships, period.
That's
so
if
you're married, what I'm saying is, should you keep friendships with single people? So I'm talking about
like
even your male friends.
If you, well, yeah.
That's what I was asking. I just said married and single friendships. Right. Can married people continue their friendships with their single friends?
Well, this doesn't sound like a question that you would ask if it wasn't about an opposite. If it wasn't about
no, it's not. I'm asking.
Why would you break up with your friends that you've been friends with?
Because you've never heard that people say that married couples should find married couple friends and that they shouldn't continue having single friends. You've never heard that?
I've heard that stuff before, but
so that's what I'm asking.
I don't know how factual that mess is and how real life it is.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah. Well, I know that as a woman, I've been told that a lot. A lot of older women tell you that it's kind of best for you once you get married to seek out married friends who can kind of go through that plight with you, because it's just once you get married, it changes the whole dynamic of your friendship with a single female. And so
I couldn't be a person to stand on that and be like, oh, I'm married now, better only go find married friends only,
right?
And get out of my way, single friend, because there might be a point in my life where my single friend pours more into me than my married friend.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I think you got to have a balance.
Okay.
Every day I talk to one of each. You know, one of my friends.
Right. One that's single and one that's married.
You know, so.
Well, for me, I think that you can continue your friendships with your single friends. And it just kind of, the dynamic, it just changes. It's just that simple. But like it's difficult because if you have a friend, say, you were friends with this person and you guys used to party together, you guys kick it, do these things or whatever, and then you get married and your friend is still wanting to do those things, then that's kind of a hard friendship to maintain because you like, dude, I'm married now.
Yeah, that's where your friendship was set.
Right.
If
and
friendship
so
was based in just club life, then nah, you done.
And it could not have been based on club life. It's just the fact that if you got somebody and your friend doesn't, and y'all used to do that, then she's gonna want to continue to do that with you, possibly.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the highlight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's not the highlight of our friendship,
yeah,
it was just a season.
Yeah.
We did the club thing together, bro. Now we done. So now I'm gonna do this family thing. But you and I still catch up on tacos on Saturday.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean.
So I would say that you can. I don't think that there's any problem with remaining friends with your single friends, even though you got married and you've moved on. Because like Bobby said, they can still pour into your life, and it's not, you don't just drop them. So
and you might be the example they need for them to come out of that singleness.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be no married friend spewing nothing but hate and disagreement about your spouse, expecting them
to come up to your level. Yeah, you can't do that.
Your
so
witness is no good. Third marriage in the trash. God left it the second you said I do.
Right. Bobby is so damn harsh. Godly. Okay, so number 2. Do people keep friendships after a marriage and after a divorce? So listen to the question. How many people stay friends with their spouses after a divorce? Is it healthy? How difficult is it to stay friends with a couple after the divorce if only one was your friend first before they got married? Right? Mm-hmm. And then how weird is it when the family still hangs out with your ex?
All of these things are...
So 3 questions.
That's 3 questions.
Do people keep friendships after a marriage and after a divorce? So is that healthy?
It's healthy. It's healthy if you got children. It's healthy if you have assets. Mm-hmm. All those things that need to be tended to in a healthy partnership kind of way.
Okay.
And it looks better for two. These sort of things. So
okay.
Yeah. But if you don't have anything, it's kind of strange. I wouldn't say that I'm friends with Destiny's mom. Mm-hmm. Cordial, but we're not friends at all, really.
Right.
Right,
and like my brother is friends with his ex, and they have children. They have children together. But I'm saying that they still are like really good friends, and I truly believe if they did not have children together, they still would be really good friends. So I just wondered if it was
they were friends first.
I just wondered if it was healthy or not. And then how difficult is it to stay friends with a couple after the divorce if only one was your friend before they got married? So if your friend got married and then they got divorced, how difficult would it be to stay friends with his wife?
It wouldn't be difficult at all if I wasn't friends with her.
But I'm saying, like, what if you guys developed a relationship though?
Oh, if we got a relationship, then we'll have to keep it.
So you would keep the relationship with that person,
even
if they divorced your friend. What if they hurt your friend though? Like, what if they really did your friend wrong and you guys were friends and you're kind of stuck in the middle because you're like, dang, I understand it.
That's a rough one.
Yeah.
But that would have to be on them. I wouldn't be in their mix. I'm not in your relationship right now. I'm talking to you as my buddy.
Okay.
Not him.
And then how weird is it when your family still hangs with your ex? So your ex-wife.
That's weird. That's weird, but not weird when there's children involved.
Okay, I'm talking about hanging out though.
Yeah, no.
So it's kind of
because it's a healthy look for the child.
Okay.
Yeah, they need to see that unity. Okay. They need to see that togetherness. They don't need to see separate. separate.
And you guys just add each other's
It's not a good look. Although we have to show Destiny that, but
I think that a lot of people actually stay friends with their spouses after a divorce. Mm-hmm. Is it healthy? Who knows? Like Bobby said, with children involved, of course, it should be healthy at least for them to be cordial, but for them to actually be really good friends or whatever, I think that sometimes when another significant other comes into play, it can be a difficult journey to maneuver. Because when you come into play, you know, if I came into play and Bobby was still friends with his ex, I mean, like really good friends. I'm not talking about cordial, but I'm saying they just like, you know, they talk all the time and do all these things. I don't know. It might be some insecurity there because you would wonder like, okay, well, dang, why the heck do they even break up if they're such good friends and they're still telling each other stuff and asking each other's opinions and advice and stuff like that. So that would be a little bit difficult for me. And then how difficult is it to stay friends with a couple after the divorce? For me, I think that I have a responsibility to my friend who was my initial friend. So if I had a friend and they got married and then for whatever reason, you know, we of course we started to hang around together and then I became friends with them both and then they got divorced and I had to maybe choose. Right. Then I would choose, you know, my longtime friend. Absolutely. And I would just have to let that other friendship go. And especially if that party hurt my friend. If that party hurt my friend or it wasn't an amicable divorce, it would be kind of difficult for me to stay friends with that other person, knowing, you know, kind of knowing the situation. Even though they might be cool, I wouldn't want to jeopardize my long-term friendship, you know, right. for this person who kind of came in our lives and then stepped right back out. So I think that I wouldn't do that either. And then I think it's just kind of weird when you have to you go to get-togethers and your ex's sister is still hanging around or whatever. It's just kind of like, oh man, golly, okay then, all right, you know. It would be kind of hard. It would be kind of hard for me too. So, I mean, and I know, like Bobby said, it's different because we have a child, but we don't share a child. So Bobby has a different outlook on those type of things because of Destiny versus myself, who I don't have any kids of my own. Right. And so I think that it would be, you know, that's probably why my opinion is just a little bit different. But so what happens when you outgrow your friendship? Like, a lot of people have dealt with this, and this one is truly a hard one to answer to me. Like, I'm a big Issa Rae fan, and an Insecure fan, and I was glad that she tackled that on her show because she was talking about on the show, you know, her and her friendship is kind of like they're at a crossroads where they kind of outgrew each other. Like, they were not the same people that they were at when they developed their friendship. They were kind of moving in different directions, and it's kind of like neither one of them wants to allow them the opportunity or the space to grow, so they're kind of stuck. Right. And so what do you do? Like, how hard is that? How hard is it? Very hard. How hard would that be for you?
It's very hard. I've been through it.
Have you?
Yes. And it's first couple times, you know, it hits. Mm-hmm. Your friends separate, we separate from a friend, whatever. But then you start to see the natural evolution in life, and where you're supposed to be. Had I not shed this, you know, this friend, I wouldn't have been open to receive this next level. This group of friends that's so into me where I need them. That person was great then, you know. But it's time to move on. It happens.
How do you do it though? How do you do it? I
don't think there's any plan or any kind of way of doing it other than just, okay, I've had enough, or this has gone about as far as it's going to go. Mm-hmm. You know, so anything past this is me faking and shaking. It's pretend.
Okay.
There's nowhere else this can go. We can communicate it. You know, let's talk about it. Sit down and, hey, man, this was, you know, I don't think you should do it like an old boy and just disappear. I think you should sit down and talk about it. You know. Okay. I don't think I can do this.
Okay.
You know.
So you think that you should go at it as you would a relationship,
because it is a relationship,
as you would a romantic relationship. Yeah, right. As you would a romantic relationship. I can agree with that. I think that that's probably one of the most difficult things to maneuver, second to a romantic relationship, and that's because sex is involved in a romantic relationship. But a friendship can almost be more intimate even than a romantic relationship. It's like with your friendship, you've shared everything together, especially if you've been friends for a really long time. And you know their mom and their mom, you call their mom, and they call your mom and dad and all these things or whatever, and you've gone through divorces and marriages and all these things together. I think that it is very, very difficult, but I do believe that you should have that talk. Like Bobby said, you want to have that talk and say, hey, this is not working, it's not working for us anymore. And I think that I think not that, but I think that would always work. And so that's kind of hard. That's really difficult. So you guys can talk about that at home and say how you would kind of handle that situation, because that's a really tough one. Right. And then my next question is, what is the proper protocol for female and male relationships outside of your marriage? So now we can talk about that. And actually my other question is probably going to be kind of similar to that too. But what is the proper protocol for female and male relationships outside of your marriage? Which is kind of different.
What keeps the overall sanity of a relationship.
Okay.
So if a person is bothering your spouse, that person shouldn't be your friend.
Okay. So you think that you should just dump them?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to keep a relationship.
Right. And if you don't, then not. So you don't think that there's any...
Continue, and there's ways that you can just prove that this is nothing. It's just you and your feelings. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But most cases, it's not. There's always something there that bothers you. And if it is, you shouldn't let it weigh the relationship.
I think that that's difficult. I'm reminded of the movie Brown Sugar, and I absolutely love that movie, you guys. And I remember in the movie how the two main characters, they were such good friends, and then they moved away. Then when they came back together and were in the same city, they tried to maintain their friendship kind of like it was before. But the main character, Taye Diggs, had gotten married, and his female friend, she had not gotten married. Right. And so, and even if she was married, it was difficult to maintain the same type of friendship in the relationship, and they did it, which ultimately kind of broke them up, and they ended up getting together. If you haven't seen the movie, spoiler, sorry about that. But I think that the protocol has to happen to ensure both spouses' comfortability, period. Right. Because the hard part is that you have this male friend or you have this female friend who was there before your spouse. So we're talking about before. We're not talking about like I have a whole different mindset when it comes to a friend that you met during your marriage. Right. But if you had a friend before you met your spouse, I think it's very difficult to tell that spouse, hey, look, I don't like that nigga, or I don't like that chick, so, it's a done deal. We together now, so squash it. Because I think that if you remain friends with that person, they added something to your life, or you still wouldn't be friends with them, right? And so I think the proper protocol is that, of course, you have to become the friend that respects the boundaries of your relationship. By that, I mean, you cannot continue the same type of friendship you had. It's just that simple. It's just...
No, I'm
saying. What you want to say?
No.
Okay. It's just that simple. So if I had a male friend and we used to go and hang out, or we used to talk on the phone every other night or every week or just whatever, now that I'm married, my husband becomes my best friend. I no longer need that outlet to talk to this male counterpart or whatever. So this person, I don't oust them or lose them as a friend, but they go into a whole different category to where we're friends. I see you when I see you. We cool, you know what I'm saying? And if you happen to get somebody and we want to double date, if my spouse is cool with that, cool, we can do that. If not, we don't have conversations on the phone anymore. I don't go to you as my first go-to and say, hey, what you think about this or whatever, and bypass my husband. That's crazy. And that would end up getting you divorced really, really quick. So I think the boundary should be, you shouldn't be calling my husband, all hours of the night. You shouldn't be texting my husband saying, hey, what's up with you? You chilling or whatever? Oh, that's my homie. You know Bob, my homie. Okay, but we're married now. So all of that to me should probably cease.
Really, the thing is, certain friends in situations like this are just designed to carry you to a point to where you can settle. So you don't really need that type of energy afterwards.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So
it's like
they're really seasonal friends. You're talking about the female friend.
It's by design. So you got a dude friend that you had before me. He wasn't supposed to be past me anyway. Right. You know what I'm saying? So still holding on. I'm talking about if it's that kind of friend, you know, where you're low-key dating, but you just don't. It's like, that's to a point. That's to get you to the point of, now I'm married and good, so I don't need that crutch anymore. You know, or that what do you call that? Pseudo support. Right. You know. I mean, it was just to keep me balanced while I searched for what I was really looking for, because you weren't really it. Because had you been that,
then we would be together.
We wouldn't be
just friends.
Air surfing. And air surfing just keeps us comfortable, you know, for the next better thing to come along. And it's really a big form of greed, but it's nothing we can do about it because we've now dialed into this as Americans and as a people, period. Yeah. You know, so.
Well, I mean, I can honestly say that I have a friend, you know, that you know of, that we were once when I was single and he was single, we hung out. Like we hung out, we talked to each other on the phone sometimes or whatever. And he actually Bobby reminded me of him when I met him. But we never had any type of romantic anything happen. We were just really, really cool friends. I believe it was because our birthday was in the same month maybe. But once I got with Bobby, I introduced Bobby to him so Bobby could test his spirit and kind of discern and, you know, make sure there wasn't nothing going on to his liking or his disliking or whatever. And once that happened and once I got with Bobby, our friendship changed. Actually, it changed before because he got married before me. And so once he got married, our friendship just totally changed. It totally changed. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Doug.
Oh.
I'm talking about Doug.
Yeah.
And so our friendship,
our
friendship totally changed. And so, you know, it was like, hey, I see you when I see you. We hang out. It's cool. So the dynamic of it, you know, I respected his marriage. And then once I met Bobby, of course, he respected mine. So I'm saying that you're right, that dynamic of needing that, whatever that was at that time and period when we were friends and kind of hanging out, you know, during those months or whatever until he met Mel and then they got together or whatever. It was, now she's providing all of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Plus the sex. So, yeah. So I agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that. Well, you guys, we are trying to help some people. Last week, it was maximizing your marriage. This week, it is friendships. When we come back, we are going to get into the actual factuals with Bobby, and we're going to get on our last 4 questions, and then some things you can actually do to strengthen your friendships. You're listening to Intimate Conversations with Talitha and Bobby on Hot 702.5, and we will be right back after this joint by my homie Star K.
Yeah.
Look, though I'm lost in this world, caution. I pray that these niggas cross me and force me to come across them and sell a body for auction. Do or die, simply suicide, how I truly ride. All shit with a boss chick in the newest Dodge. 2-seater compact with the new features, which brings up a new creature and force me to go ether. Plus, I'm from Texas, I grew up jamming a Tila and swishers thick as a finger and deuces in a Tahitian. But off that subject, I'm busting, fuck it, what they about. How I see it, these niggas ready to bring them out. And since my city is dirty, I gotta clean them out. Backhand strong, I chose to take the Serena route. Bring the racket out, my mental swift as Pacquiao. I'm like a rattlesnake on ground, they can never back me down. A boss and niggas think that I do them wrong. I'm like Ross, I made back on any song. So in defense, if it seems that I do my niggas wrong, just know we starving and trying to bring us some dinner home. I'm like Julius Caesar, but I put Brutus on. I put that knife in his hand, I put my life in his hand. I put some greens in them bands, I wouldn't turn on my man, I wouldn't change on them down. So I'm good and wrong. Fact is, I'm on another track, kid. AI with these balls, who talking practice? Plus I'm good with this metal, I'm like a blacksmith. Huey Newton, my nigga, raising a black fist. Half of these people that's ballin' don't know what stats is. I'm past quota, my nigga, the race is over, my nigga. I'm a soldier, my nigga, you got it fucked up. I'm getting colder, my nigga, stacking this dough up, my nigga. Who heard the slowest, my nigga? Who really know us, my nigga? Gon' tell your best rapper, nigga, his luck's up. Now when I land, fuel sitting for the king, though. This made my pinky glow, ring match my ego. Grinding hard, it's just seeming that we move slow. But you know that patience would make the green grow. A few months of this grinding, watching the team grow. Black markets are on me, watch the regime smoke. Robin's brothers on the seams of my jeans, though. Being a king was in the seams of my jeans, though. Wordplay, nigga, I'm a maniac. Been a minute, got niggas looking like Kane is back. And with this wax, I'm a old dog, nigga. Killing Friday at the next, word smoke dog, nigga. Bees with me, but I know some low dogs, nigga. For a couple grand, they'll choke y'all niggas. I'm done with this track, let it breathe though. And one, when I ball, give me my free throw.
Welcome back to Intimate Conversations with Talitha and Bobby, presented by Food for the Soul here on Hot 702.5 FM. And we are talking about friendships, friend or foe, for 2021. But before we continue, we want to see what the actual factuals are from Bobby. Let's go.
Friends. How many of us have them is a matter of perspective. You friends are the type that call each other B's and H's, while others see hatred. Y'all's bond is beyond acceptance of a nod from the nonconformists of society. We are on another frequency, frequently frequenting the places that free us, bound by no traditional measure. Our companionship is genuine. You can't tell me I had a friend. Our disagreements are ours. If you attend to your own yard, your flowers will blossom like ours. Some days dandelions, others tulips, even weeds. And weeds that pretend to be flowers are roses in my book when it comes to you, friend. We aren't perfect, nor are other friends and friendships. But we're perfect for we. Do you. Be true to who you are. Be true to you. And bloom.
Can I ask you, were you referring that to anything personal in your life, or was it just something about friendships? Okay, just about friendships.
Yeah, you friend how we friend. You friend how you friend.
Okay, and nobody can really tell you how to friend, pretty much. Right. So can't nobody tell you, well, that's not your real friend because she don't do or he don't do or whatever.
My real friends do what I need them to do for me.
Right.
So if they feed my emotions and feed my character and feed my creativity and feed my drive, even feed my wanting to get off my behind and do something by being rough or rash or brash, let me deal with that as my friend, not you.
Okay.
You judge your friends who do whatever your friends do.
Okay. I get it.
Thanks.
Well, let's get back to these questions. Do you think that you can sex your friend and still be friends? Like, can you really have sex with your friend and still remain close? As a man, Bobby, what are your thoughts?
That's weird. I don't know. I think, as I say, your friends can friend how they friend. If y'all weren't, ever that, and you tried to fit into some sort of crowd or something, there was never any real chemistry or something, you just, I want to try this, then probably not. Or no, you probably would be. It'd be weird.
But what if you were friends and you were with, because this happens often, and you are vulnerable, or your friend is vulnerable, and then you guys end up sleeping together. And you guys end up sleeping together, but it's kind of like, okay, we slept together. So after you sleep together, there's no real romance or anything. Do you think that you guys can go back to being close like you were before you had sex as a man?
It depends, like, just as any of these other questions, just how strong you were in the beginning. If it was some fluff shit in the beginning, then that's exactly what it's going to end up being. But if it's a real bond, as Marcus and Breezy, it's not going nowhere regardless of how many speed bumps or, you know, whatever. So if you're real friends and you walk down that and it's a fail, you'll be real friends afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that you can continue the friendship and be close, but it would just be a different, it would be something different to really have to work around to get back to that place, especially for women. And I'm speaking from a woman's point of view, in my opinion, because we are the receivers. If we were to get with a friend of ours, we receive everything from them. So now we've already have our intimate friendship, and now we receive that intimate love connection. You know what I'm saying? And so I think for women, it might be a little bit more difficult to get back to that friendship and get back to that closeness, because they have to work out their emotions on what happened with that sex thing, whether it was good or bad, or do I like him now? Do I not like him? Am I like, ew, it's like having sex with my brother? Like, I don't know what, and I'm not saying, because that really sounds really nasty, but I'm just saying that it's kind of like that. It's like, okay, we should have never done this. Let me figure this thing out or whatever, you know, because then it's possible that one person kind of catches feelings, and then you're stuck like, now I can't tell him everything. Now I can't be close to him because now I don't want him, but he might want me. And now I want to talk about, you know, this date I had the other night, like how we used to. But I can't anymore because we crossed that line.
And that would probably be one of the biggest things, I'm sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of hard. So I'm not sure. I would have to evaluate and see how everything was going. So I don't know if you can be as close as you were pre-sex. So I don't know. Woman-wise. Could be, could be not. Number 6 is, should you remain friends with someone you slept with after you get married? So now you can talk about that. And how do you feel about that? Should you remain friends with someone you slept with after you get married?
Yeah, if it's not something that incriminates your boundaries. If it's not something that messes up that messes up your marriage.
Okay.
If it's not a big spoken of secret. Yeah.
I think that it can be very difficult. It can be a very difficult task to maneuver, only because, like I said before, when you have a friendship that you had before your marriage, and then you stay friends with that person, now if you see that person or have to be around that person, then your spouse has to be comfortable knowing, you know, your past with that person. You know, okay, well, I know that she was with that person, or I know that he was with her, or whatever, and I know everything that happened, so I'm good with it. Like, I know that there's no residual anything going on. So I think that the comfort level has to be very high for your spouse to be able to endure that friendship and to continue that friendship. And then I think that your spouse too has to really, really be comfortable with the belief that whatever you say is what it is, and not try and find other stuff unless you're completely, you know, showing your spouse something completely different. Like, you're like, okay, no, we just friends or whatever. No, that's my boy. We cool like that or whatever. You sleep with him? Yeah, I slept with him, whatever. We cool. But then, you know, he catches you texting him all the time, or he catches you on the phone with him, or whatever it is. And then you're like, okay, but I thought that was your, you know, then that can cause problems. Right. But I think that if your spouse knows everything about that situation, that it could work. But sometimes for some people, they just, you know, they once you didn't see my wife, I just, you know, nigga, F you. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how they are, and you got to respect that. So I think that those conversations just need to be had. You know what I'm saying? Before you get married, if you have friends that you know that you've been with and that you will possibly see them again from time to time. And you know what I'm saying? And not keep a continual friendship. Like I said before, sleeping with somebody is the same thing. It was actually worse than just having a friend that I've never slept with. So if I have a male friend I've never slept with, and those boundaries happen and our relationship changes, then of course somebody that I slept with, our relationship completely changes. Like I might never see that person again, but I would not call them my friend. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if something happened to them, I would be concerned. Like if I found out one of my friends I slept with, their parent died or something, and I knew their parent, I would be concerned about that. I might cry about that or whatever. So I think that is okay. But the dynamic is totally like, okay, we friends from way, way far distance. Like, hey, what's up? All right, then, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. It's not a continual, we see each other, talk to each other on the phone. None of that. Because I think that would just be too much. And that would be asking for trouble in your marriage. I really do. I think that it will be. So I think it's possible. But, it's really up to you and your spouse on how that plays out. Because some people are just jealous. They're like, I don't want to share you. And he already had you or she already had you. So I'm good. We don't need them in our lives anymore. And, there's nothing you can do about it if you respect your marriage. Seventh question is, can friendship survive betrayal of any kind?
Yeah, depending on the amount of repentance on the guilty party.
So you think that any type of betrayal?
Depending on the friendship and the repentance. If your friendship ain't strong enough to withstand somebody stealing a burger from you, then that's not going to, it's basic. You're not going to heal.
What if your friend was the cause of something bad happening to your child?
That would be...
Or somebody in your family.
It would have to be the right friend.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who the right friend is for me. But there's some people that have that one person that can get away with stuff like that. Mm-hmm. For me,
that's
betrayal.
Yeah.
That, oh man, you did this, but
yeah.
You saved me from prison in '86, so I owe you for that type stuff. So whether it's right or wrong, it's still you still maintaining the friendship. As a betrayal, so I don't know.
For me, I think that you are probably right. It depends on the level of friendship that you have with that person. For me, I have been such a forgiving person. That's just me. That's my makeup. Right. So I've always been a person to where I could kind of try and look at things from that other person's point of view, no matter how much it hurts me, and see where they were coming from. But like Bobby said, there has to be a level of repentance on their part to make me say, okay, you know what? I can forgive you because I see that you're truly sorry for whatever you did to me, or whatever I felt like, whatever I did, whatever you did that I felt that you betrayed me in. And so because I've had friendships with people who have slept with my boyfriends before. Right. And it was hard. It was hard to get back to a place of trust. So I think that it changes the dynamic of the friendship, though. And I'm using that word dynamic a lot because that's just it. It changes our friendship, but can we still be friends after that? Absolutely. Can I forgive them and move on? Absolutely, I can. So I believe that I can forgive someone for a betrayal. And it just kind of depends on, what it is. If it's something like, you killed, somebody I love or something or whatever, then that's a little bit different. Right. A little bit different. But, or I can forgive you sleeping with, my boyfriend or even my husband possibly. But, you had a baby with him or something. Maybe not. So, yeah. Right. So it depends on what it is and their level of repentance. Bobby's right. And then the last one is, what do you do when you are more of a friend than your friend is to you? What do you do when you are more of a friend to somebody than you feel like they are to you? How have you managed that? Because I know that that's happened to you before, and it's
Right,
absolutely happened to me.
I personally check the balances. Okay, I'm more of a friend to this cat, but there's got to be somebody that, you know, or they're more of a friend the other way around. You know what I'm saying? However, what'd you say? What do you do whenever you're more of a friend? Yeah, there might be somebody who feels the same way about me that I speak with, that I'm friends with.
Okay.
So I just kind of, I say I kind of walk lightly in monitoring that.
Okay.
You know, dialing back on the use, and because everybody gets used.
Right.
Being used is not incorrect. It's not negative. It's not wrong. It's being misused. It's incorrect.
Okay.
So,
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's a falsehood that we often believe. So it's like everybody's going to get used, and we always say, "Well, you use me. You're using me or whatever." Of course, I'm using you. You're my friend. I'm using you. Of course, I'm using you. You're my husband. I'm using you. So everybody gets used. But Bobby brings up a very, very good point that it's the misuse that's the problem. It's the misuse that's the problem, not the using. For me, I've had a hard time with this because I often have been the friend where I felt like I was more of a friend than they were to me, because I take friendships very seriously. So as I matured, I think that I started to kind of check, like, wait a minute, am I getting the same thing from this friendship that I'm giving? And if I'm not, then like Bobby said, I kind of would dial back a little bit of everything that I do and different things like that or whatever. And then it came to a point recently where I just finally had to say, okay, look here, I feel like this. You might not see it, or you might feel like this, but this is what I'm feeling. And because of, my peace of mind or whatever, I can't continue on this being like this. So either you're going to have to put up and give, as much as I'm giving, or, find you somebody else to hang around with, or hang around, for real. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the misuse that I felt.
Absolutely.
It wasn't the use. It was the misuse that I felt.
And a lot of that too, like you in those situations, now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to look at those situations and check myself.
Yeah.
Why am I even focused on? If I'm focused on this part so tough, then maybe I'm being a little prideful. And I believe that I have been hold a better and bigger position in this person's life than I originally did. I believe this. It's a thought that I have. I'm bigger than I deserve. I shouldn't be. It's not true. In the beginning, you were never more than that. You just put that on yourself, that you deserve to be more than, whatever it makes you feel.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
It's a misconception. It was never communicated. I bet in those situations where we feel like that, if we go to those people and let them know, like how I do my boy. Well, one of my homies used to only call me when he's at work. I'm not doing that. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not your pastime. You want to be my buddy, call me whenever you're not just at work. Call me at the crib, when you're wherever else. And you call us everywhere now. So.
And I had a situation like that too, where I think that those things, just like in a romantic relationship, they need to be discussed. Because sometimes you have a friend who feels like they are more of a friend, and you felt like they were more of an associate.
Right.
So this friend is giving their all, like in a relationship, like I'm giving my all, treating you like husband, and you like, nah, you just a pastime chick. And it's the same thing with friendships. Sometimes you are an associate and you're like, oh, that's my homegirl, we real cool or whatever. But that person really kind of took a stake in your friendship, and they needed you, so they're dependent on you. And then when you don't come through, you're looking like, they're looking like, what the hell is going on or whatever. And so it's kind of like they're being more of a friend to you, but you're like, I never really needed you for that part. So that's the reason why I'm not being really a friend to you like that, because I got friends, or you cool. I just never saw us in that light. And so I think that does need to be discussed, because sometimes it's just miscommunication.
Right. And the same buddy I was talking about never invited us on vacation.
Yeah.
None of that stuff. You know, he has friends for that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so in the beginning it was kind of disheartening because I thought that I was
that friend.
I felt like I was that friend by the amount of time we would spend hanging out,
right,
or on the phone,
right,
or whatever else. But I wasn't. That's a different caliber. You have a different caliber friend that you want to go do that type shit with, and we're not that.
But you know what? What I will say is to give credit where credit is due. It's quite possible that the I can't say dynamic one more time. They're gonna kill me with the dynamic. But the way the friendship is built, it would be different if this person or this friend was going on trips by themselves.
Right.
So you have to look at that and not be so disheartened by that. Because think about it. If you and I were going out and then like I have a friend that's like my homie, but I know that their spouse or whoever they gonna be with, that I know that they're not gonna gel well with Bobby. Or I know that Bobby's just like, oh, I can't stand that dude. I'm not going to invite them on trips either, even though this might be my best friend and we hang out and we talk and we do all this or whatever. But when it comes to bringing somebody else in the mix and we're going on a vacation, I can't invite that person if I know that Bobby and I are not going to have a good time. Like I might have a blast, or me and her we're going to have a blast. We're going to laugh, talk, this, that, whatever. But then our spouses are kind of looking like, this is not what's up. And so that could possibly be a possibility too on why, you know what I'm saying, on why it wasn't the invitation though. Because I'm saying that you know that, okay, well, I know we're all not going to be able to gel together. But if I go on vacations with these people, I might just suck it up and just, you know, kind of do whatever and let that person have their fun and I'm not tripping. So I can't invite my homeboy because I know that y'all don't mix real well. So that's just what that is. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe so.
Possibility. So you never thought about it like that, huh?
Nah.
There's a possibility, you know?
Yeah, great, absolutely.
So we are done with that, you guys. We're done with the questions. I am so glad that Bobby and I got a chance to have this talk because these are just questions that were looming in my mind about friendships. I hope you guys are going to be able to dialogue after the show on some of the friendships you have. But I wanted to also point out, because I always like to give solutions, you guys, that there are 6 things that therapists say that we can do to really cultivate our friendships, no matter how busy our schedule is. And it says most friends don't need constant attention, but carving out a little time each week, no more than 30 minutes even, is all you really need to remind them that you still have their back. And so what's the first one? Because Bobby just talked about this, and it might have been, you know, what it is.
Yeah, use your commute time to talk to them. It's very important.
And so I've done that before. And so it's possible that when your friend was calling you from work, that was the only time that he had to really be able to talk to you and be away, you know, from his spouse or kids or whatever, to really be able to kind of talk to you and say, hey, dude, I'm going through, or hey, what's going on with you? And that might have been his only time to be able to do that. So I have started to do this, you know, on my commute, if I'm driving home or something like that or whatever, because I have a friend who I talk to and I know once we get on the phone, we just finna go at it. I know that's just how we are. So I try to possibly, okay, I got this drive. I'm going to go ahead and call her when I get in the car or whatever. That way I won't use up a lot of time, you know, when I get home with my spouse. Coming from work, then I'm at home on the phone for 2 hours or whatever, and he looking at me sideways like, didn't you just get home from work and now you're on the phone? So I've tried to do that, doing the commute. I really have. I've tried to do that with the commute. And then sometimes I just text and I don't call because I know that we're going to be on the phone, you know, for a long time. So the second one is spill the tea or tease something juicy that happened in your life. It says you may not have the time or the zippy texting capabilities to fill your friend in on everything that's happened since you last talked, but chances are you've got enough time to share one funny or interesting detail from your day. So that's cool.
Text some random memories that still make you laugh.
Yes.
Ha.
Really? You said that all like, really, I'm reading this right now and I don't believe this. You don't think that's good?
It's absolutely good.
Yeah, text them something like, remember that time? You know, even if it's something that you were just thinking about, like, dude, I was thinking about that time when we went to the club that one time and this, whatever. And they're like, girl, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that brings up something that you guys can share together, and it lets them know that you're thinking of them.
Absolutely.
I think, you know. Fourth one is follow up when your friend tells you something rough that's going on in his or her life, which is something that I need to do even right now. So I'm going to do that as soon as I get off this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Share something you've been feeling vulnerable about. Make the time you do get to spend together count. If you have something weighing on your mind, give your friends thought on what to do or what you should do.
And you do that, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot. And then the sixth one, you guys, is make a point to put in FaceTime. Right now, with all this COVID stuff, some of us, all we can do is FaceTime. And so it says most friendships can thrive on text, but I would say that you should meet in person every 3 to 6 months at least. And I really, really miss my girl time out here. I don't have that as much. But for me and my friends, we actually started a group get together where we would get together and have a ladies' night every month. I so thoroughly enjoyed those. I know life happened and the girls started to get really busy. But I think that any friendship that's worth its weight should maintain some type of friendship like that. So once a month, especially if they are in your neighborhood, once a month, get together, go out, have a drink, go out, go to a movie, go get something to eat, go to an event or something like that, just to kind of catch up on stuff. And then you'll find yourself looking forward to that. And then you'll find yourself possibly talking during the month or whatever. So even though life is happening, you know that you got your friends back. Your friends know that they have your back and they can always come to you. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's important.
Yeah.
I think it's really important, whether you're married, single, whatever. I'm talking about whether you're friends with your married people, your married friends or your single friends. You need that friendship time, that one-on-one, face-to-face to kind of just see each other.
Yes.
So I believe that. So what are your final thoughts before you fall asleep?
I'm not falling asleep. I was thinking and listening to you.
Okay.
Friends are a garden.
Yeah.
And water the fruit that you produce with friends, and the water other friends, and you need all of it to work. Mm-hmm. So don't cast out your friends because they're different. Don't let your spouse or your other friends say that you can't be friends with this particular friend because of some sort of disagreement, because God might have that person in your life for whatever reason. Chances are he does. And he has you in their life for whatever reason. Chances are he does.
Okay. So
you want to cast out or cancel whatever God's doing in your life or their life based on
your
feeling-based separation.
Yeah. Your feelings. I get it. That's good, Bobby. My final thoughts are friendships are very hard to come by, and not everyone can say that they have genuine friendships that have lasted the test of time through ups and downs, marriages, divorces, kids, and even distance. But I believe the saying about the seasonal, reason, and lifetime friendships. It absolutely reigns true.
Yeah.
Sometimes we try to hold on to those seasonal and reason friends way too long, and it ultimately just damages, it just does damage to our peace of mind and our quality of life. So it is totally okay to reevaluate your friendships and see if they are still meeting the needs you once had, or if you're meeting their needs. Because friendships can turn into foes really easy if we're not mindful and purposeful, and all could have been avoided with good communication and true honesty.
Thanks.
Which is pretty much, same thing. I just kind of piggybacked off of what you said, having to water it and grow it. But be sure you guys tune in next week for our movie Monday of the month at 6:00 p.m. live on our Food for the Soul page. We might be out of town. We might not. I don't know. But if we are, we're going to try and go live wherever we are and talk about our movie Monday. And our show is sponsored in part by Mook the Barber, Chris Products, Isla Cole the Stylist, The Black Market, and Orlay Worldwide. It's your girl Talitha Kume.
And your boy Big Bobby B.
Giving you something to talk about. And we are out. Peace. One love.
Wait, did I do that
All
nonsense?
that. Yeah, you did. One love.
Don't get it twisted, Papa. She been on that. In the beginning, you were a great passable pastime that in past times would have been walked past, but I was in a vulnerable situation, so I sat here and decided to play with your emotions a bit. Why the hell not? You saw this shit coming. You knew who TF I was when we got serious. You met me as a hoe. Why TF would I change that for your mediocre ass wood? I've led stronger, longer men than you. Why do you feel special? I know you see the way I pick fights now. That's all by design. I love that stupid look on your face as I jump in my seat from what I seen when Keith sent pics of his meat. Woo! Why TF am I here? I know this nigga sees the way I flip my phone over whenever he sits down. I know this dude ain't stupid. All my pretending ass girls trips. He has to be blind. Or maybe he's cheating too. Maybe he's more crafty than any woman can ever be. Nah, that's not it. I'm the devourer. I eat and wipe my mouth and say I've done no wrong. Doesn't he notice my disdain for his jokes? Doesn't he see the way I avoid his puny, boyish sexual advances? If only he would wake up and see the snake before I attack. I'm the cheap one.
In these uncertain times, everyone needs a hand up. Becoming a sponsor or making a donation to Food for the Soul Media Group is a great opportunity to help. Intimate Conversations with Talitha and Bobby airs every Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Hot 702.5 FM streaming radio and live on our FB page. Intimate Conversations discusses all of those topics we don't like to talk about. Become a sponsor or donate today at foodforthesoulmediagroup.press or email us at foodforthesoulpresents@gmail.com.